Hey everybody, this is JTech95 back again for another video. So I've done videos about 486s and 386s, and I did a couple mini vids with my IBM 5150 and my PS2 Model 30. Well, today I'm going to be taking a look at a different kind of machine. I'm going to be taking a look at my IBM Aptiva here. This is a Windows 95 machine. I don't think I've really talked on Windows 95 on this channel as of yet, but starting today, I'm going to bring Windows 95 into the repertoire. Yes, I did a video about Windows 98, but we're going to go 3 years back and look at Windows 95, and we're also going to take a look at this machine here, the IBM Aptiva, today on JTech95. Welcome back to JTech95. So the Aptiva I've got sitting right here is a model 2137-E14. This machine originally had a board with a AMD K5, I believe it was, but when I got this machine, it was in awful shape. It was in awful shape. The motherboard and power supply were both cooked. It looked like it had some substantial water damage. The board was a lost cause. I did try repairing it and seeing if I could get it to come to life, but there was so much wrong with it, it wasn't even worth fixing, sadly. The board I have in it right now, it's pretty darn close to what it would have had originally. It even looked pretty similar. But yeah. This machine went through quite a transformation. I did this a long time ago, before I even started doing YouTube channels, so I don't have any footage of the rebuild, unfortunately. But yeah, it's running now, and we're gonna take a look at the specs, see what she's got inside, and get her running a couple games, and yeah, go into a little bit of the history of the Aptiva brand in general. So let's get started. So the Aptiva brand originally started in 1994, and they were 486 base machines running, Windows 3.1, and I think a lot of them came with OS 2, if you preferred. But later on, they came with Pentium and AMD K5 and K6 base processors. And this one right here has Windows 95 installed on it. Let's open up the case and see what the specs are. So getting inside of an Aptiva computer is very, very simple. Underneath the faceplate here, there's a little tab you just pull on, and the whole front of the case just pulls forward, like so. See how easy that was? So as for the internals of the machine, we have a Pentium processor running at 100 megahertz. The video card is an ATI Mach 32 PCI card. The computer has 32 megabytes of RAM and a 3-COM Etherfast network adapter. And the sound card is a Creative AWE64. And it is a model CP4500. Like I said earlier, this is not the original board that came with the machine, but it's pretty close to what it would have been. I feel like I remember the board originally had a K5, the board that was in this machine that was trashed. And yeah, but now I've got the replacement power supply and board inside, and it seems to be working okay. The hard drive is a Western Digital Caviar 21600 1.5 gig hard drive, which is, to me, more than enough for what this computer would have had back when it was new. I kind of wanted to build this thing to be a little more period correct. I've got other Windows 95 machines, but this one's just kind of neat to me. It's to me, it's one of the more period correct ones. My other Windows 95 machines, especially my Gateway 2000 G6 180, is an absolute monster. I have that thing decked out, and we'll look at that in another video. But for right now, let's get this bad boy booted up and see what's on the hard drive. So now we got the machine all put back together and ready to go. Let's boot it up. And there we go. Pentium CPU running at 100 megahertz, 32 megs of RAM, Intel i430VX PCI set, detecting the slave disk, and sound card, AWE32 or 64. And here we go, loading up Windows 95. I'm not sure why the screen is flickering the way it is. I apologize for that. There we go, she's all booted up. As for what's on the machine, I don't have an awful lot on here as of right now. When I set this thing up, it was mostly just kind of getting it back in business. As I said, the machine was in awful condition when I got a hold of it. But now that it's rebuilt, it runs actually very well. Yeah, the Aptiva machines, as I had stated earlier, were kind of the replacement of the PS1 line of computers. And which is kind of odd to me, because PS2 computers came before PS1, but I don't know, I guess that was just their way of doing things. But yeah, this machine is really cool. I really enjoy having it in my collection. Right now I've just got a few basic programs installed on here. Microsoft Office 95, a couple kids games on here that I played when I was a kid, like Arthur's Birthday, Roller Coaster Tycoon, The Ultimate Haunted House. I've got Blood on here, but I need to fiddle with that one a little bit to get it to work. I don't know if it's the disk I was using, or maybe I installed it. Something got corrupted during installation, I'm not exactly sure. But we do have Doom on here. Let's run Final Doom. This is actually a version of Doom called Doom 95. Let's see. We'll do the Baron's Lair. Love hearing the old hard drives spool up and start reading. Just, I don't know, it's a nostalgic sound. Don't really get with that with new machines anymore. I'm not sure why I'm not getting music. There we go. It's just a little soft. Oh, I guess I need a blue key. It is a neat version of Doom, because it's designed to natively run under Windows 95 without any weird stuff or anything like that. Oh, here we go. A little dark, hard to see sometimes, but, you know, what can you do? I hate these guys. I hated it. I hated these guys. Whoops. I forgot those were homing missiles. I hated these guys when I played Doom back in the day, and I still hate them now. Mostly for their homing missiles and just how hard they are to kill, especially on the harder difficulties. Oh, there we go. Why did I not pick up the... oh, that's what was screwing me up down there. Mancubus. Come here. Come here, pig boy. Oh, I have a plasma gun now. Cool. Cool. But yeah, Doom runs actually very well on this machine. I mean, considering the Doom, well, Doom 1 and Doom 2 were designed to run on 486 based machines. Running on a Pentium, I'd expect it to run pretty good. Unfortunately, there's not really much to talk about this machine. It's just pretty straightforward setup. I can comment on one thing, and it's not so much about the machine, it's about the audio card in here, the AWE64. The MIDI capabilities of this are not impressive, in my opinion. I mean, I mean, they're all right. Like playing a audio file like Canyon, I mean, it's not too bad. But when it comes to playing audio files within DOS games like Doom or Wolfenstein 3D or Duke Nukem, anything like that, it to me at least, it leaves a lot to be desired. I'd much prefer to have a Sound Blaster 32 in here, but that is currently in my Gateway 2000 Windows 95 machine, and I'll show off that in another video in the future. Oh, another neat thing I can talk about with this machine is, yes, I do have it hooked up to the internet. It really wasn't that hard. I'll go into how I did it really quick, just kind of fill the video out. So when I set up Windows 95 to work on the internet, basically all I had to do was obviously install a network adapter and plug in the Ethernet cable. But in order to do it, you basically go to Network, and you have to install the driver for the Ethernet card, which in this case is a 3COM fast Etherlink 10 by 100 megabit Busmaster PCI Ethernet adapter. And it'll install a whole bunch of stuff, including TCP/IP. Now, this is the protocol you're going to need to get onto the internet. When I set it up, I just had it obtain the IP address automatically. Then don't really need WinS, NetBIOS you don't need, Advanced really I didn't need, Bindings I didn't need, but the DNS and Gateway, you basically just punch in those numbers there, and yeah, you put in your Gateway, and under DNS, really I didn't have to do anything. Basically all I did was obtain IP address automatically, put in my Gateway, and she was all set to go. And then I got on the internet. Unfortunately, a lot of websites really don't work under old computers like this anymore. Especially, well, I mean, the biggest reason is one, the operating system, and two, and kind of hand in hand, the browser. I think the most recent version of Internet Explorer Windows 95 can use is Internet Explorer 5 or 6. I'm sure there's different browsers I could use, like Opera or Netscape Navigator or whatever, but there is one site I can visit, and it's actually a really cool site. It's called theoldnet.com. This is a website that was designed with old computers in mind, just for fun. Basically, you can go on here and you can type in a link for an old website like what they got here, Nintendo.com 1996. Hit go. And it takes a little bit of time, but there we go. It'll take you to what the Nintendo website looked like back in 1996. Now, this website, theoldnet.com, works in unison with the Wayback Machine, with the Internet Archive. I believe that's how they got this to work. But just really cool website. I just thought I'd, drop it in here. This is little before my time. Like, I was alive in 1996, but I was a little young. We didn't have internet yet. Now, one site, I'm going to see if it can access it. Let's see. Let's go 2000. Let's see if it'll allow me to go to it. This link does not exist. Okay. Maybe I have to go forward a few years. Let's try 2002. Neopets was a, well, it still is. It's a website. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I figured out the problem. So apparently Neopets.com was excluded from the Wayback Machine. Bummer! Oh well, I have another idea of another website I used when I was little. There we go, there's another site I used to play on a lot as a kid. NickJr.com. Man, this takes me back. Jeez. And I watched just about every one of these shows. Little Bear, Blue's Clues, Franklin the Turtle, Little Bill, Richard Scarry, Kipper the Dog. Oh man, I forgot about him. Didn't really watch Gull Gull Island. I think I just wasn't interested. And then Maisie the Mouse. Yeah, I wonder... Win Blue's Clues Live. Win a trip to Orlando. Huh. Well, I'm sure if I click on that, nothing will happen. Let's see... See if any of these links will open, just for curiosity. I doubt it's gonna work. Oh, Internet Explorer cannot open an internet site. Double click. Oh, of course. Can't open the ads. Well, that's fine. We don't like those anyway. Let's see. Week of August 14th. It's only a day behind. Oh my gosh, that's cool. Because today is... Oh, okay, I was a little off. 3 days behind. Today's August 17th. Still, that's kind of neat. Let's see. 9 a.m. we have Little Bear. Then Blue's Clues. Kipper. Franklin. Dora the Explorer. Maggie and the Ferocious Beast. I forgot about that one, too. Doug. Oh, I remember what Doug was. That was a show on Nickelodeon later on. Oh, you know what? No. Doug was actually originally on Disney Channel, but later on it was bought by Nickelodeon and put on there instead. Let's see. Yeah. I had a feeling this would happen. A lot of sites, I mean, yeah, the old net is really cool, but a lot of sites still do not like to open. But that's okay. Still kind of cool to have a nostalgic moment and look back on the internet back when it was still pretty young, at least in terms of home use. So yeah, just really cool. Thought I'd throw that into the video. I just thought it was kind of neat. Now, when it comes to Windows 95, that's the operating system I really grew up using. So when I was really young, I used Windows 3.1 considerably, but I remember Windows 95 and Windows 98 a lot better. We had Windows 95 on a HP Vectra, and I believe that was a Pentium 2 running at 233 megahertz. Then the machine my dad had downstairs, that was another Vectra, but he ran Linux. Mandrake Linux version 7.2, I think it was. But, yeah, I never really used Linux. I remember there was a game on there called Pingus or something, and no, I'm not talking about the popular meme with Dr. Robotnik. It was a game called Pingus, or Pingus, however you want to pronounce it. It was like Lemmings, but instead of little lemmings running around, you had little penguins, or tucks, if you prefer, if you're referring to them as the mascot for Linux. But you guys didn't come here to hear me ramble about Linux. I can talk about Linux another day. We're talking about Windows. Well, the IBM Aptiva with Windows 95 to be exact. Yeah, the machine, not a lot to talk about. I'm sorry. It's pretty basic. But yeah, the thing I liked about this machine was its compact size. It wasn't real big. It was about the size of my 486-66. Compared to my Gateway 2000, it's absolutely tiny. It's a lot shorter. I'd say it's almost half the size. But yeah, I don't remember an awful lot about the Aptiva line of computers growing up. I'm sure people that I knew had them, but the computers I usually saw were, HP Vectras. I saw E-machines a lot of Gateway 2000s, a lot of Dells, things like that. But the thing of it was, towards the 1990s, IBM had really lost its stranglehold on the PC market. They started the PC boom back in 1981 with their 5150, but over the years, as it became more and more common for other manufacturers to just simply make clones of the IBM PC, IBM really lost their hold on the market, and over time it just kept on dwindling and dwindling until finally they sold off their remaining parts of their PC department to Lenovo. That's why you see Lenovo ThinkPads. Those are a carryover from the old IBM ThinkPad. I think, in my opinion, I think the IBM Aptivas were kind of a last-ditch effort to win back buyers who were looking to buy a home personal computer. But in my opinion, I don't think they really hit the nail on the head the way they were hoping. By that point, there was a lot of other computers you could have bought with the same system setup, a lot of the same peripherals for a much lower cost, like Dell and Gateway. And even by this point, I think even Northgate, because I know Northgate was still around. It's hard to find any information about Northgate nowadays. They were big when they came out, but as the years went on, they kind of fell from popularity. But yeah, computer systems like that, a lot less price, but they had the same features, and sometimes, if not more features than what IBM had to offer. So hats off to you, IBM. You did a good job when you kind of brought the personal computer to its peak, at the time. But your time has passed. But we will remember you for a lot of the innovations you guys came up with. Now, IBM is still around. They just don't make personal computers anymore. They do all servers and mainframes and things for large companies. But yeah, I guess the only thing I have left to say is, yeah, the form factor of the machine is really cool. It was really fun building it up. There's a couple small things I would like to do to it in the future. I would love to put a Sound Blaster 32 in here. And I would also like to get the thing set up with a slightly better video card. And maybe a little bit more RAM. 32 megabytes is more than enough for most of the things that you would use under Windows 95. But when I built this machine, I built it with the purpose of having it as close to how it might have been when it was new. And I think I did a pretty darn good job of it, if I do say so myself. So I'd say that's about it for my video on the IBM Aptiva. I'm sorry it took me so long to get a video out. Like I posted a couple days ago, it has been very stressful. Work has had me running around like a chicken with my head cut off lately. And then home life, nothing bad, just very busy. Renovations in the kitchen, a couple other things. Did a little bit of, I guess not spring cleaning because it's summer where I am. But yeah, just doing some cleaning. Yeah, just life gets in the way of having fun sometimes. But I appreciate you guys who have stuck with it, and have subscribed to my channel, liked my videos, and commented on what you thought. I appreciate you guys, more than you know. Getting real close to 100 subscribers. I'm very, very happy about this. And now my next goal is to hit 500. Maybe I'm shooting a little high, I don't know. But, one can dream. But anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Comment in the comment section what you thought of the video today. And leave a like if you liked what you saw, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. But anyway, it's getting late where I am, so I'm going to hit the sack because I have work in the morning. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Catch y'all later.